Let's take a look at the Incredible Hulk cast from their earliest days to today. Who would you recognize on the street? First, we have Christina Cabot, who played Major Kathleen Spare. At 42 years old when filming The Incredible Hulk, Christina now stands at 54. Beyond her role in this film, she's been involved in theater and voiceover work. She actually spent a few years living in Paris, immersing herself in the art scene, which influenced her acting style. Some might not know that she studied classical piano for many years before deciding to pursue acting, and her interest in classical music actually helped her find rhythm in her performances. On set, Christina had to film a tense scene where a large explosion happened in the background. The crew was impressed by how cool and collected she remained, despite the chaos. There's also a memorable moment when a prop malfunctioned during a major battle scene, and instead of stopping, she adapted, improvising the moment in a way that made it feel more real and unplanned.
This is the target, the location. Snatch and grab, live capture. You'll have dark clips and suppression ordnance, but live fires for backup only.
These days, Christina focuses a lot of her energy on directing smaller indie films, and she's also been involved in producing a few acclaimed documentaries. Next up, we have Ty Burrell, who played Leonard. At 40 years old during filming, Ty is now 57. Before becoming a household name, Ty was deeply involved in community theater and spent years honing his craft in small plays. He's also known for his charitable work, particularly with organizations supporting mental health awareness. Did you know Ty spent some time studying Russian during a summer abroad in college? It's a skill he occasionally surprises people with when traveling. On the set of The Incredible Hulk, Ty had to undergo a complete makeover for his character, and the team got a kick out of how serious he was about perfecting his look, even during breaks. There's also an amusing story about Ty constantly trying to figure out new ways to make his character more intense, with the special effects team getting a bit too worried he'd accidentally break something. One day, while filming, Ty slipped into the character so intensely during a tense scene that he scared the crew, but they all ended up laughing once they realized he was just getting into the zone. Ty is still best known for his role on Modern Family and continues to act, but he's also been taking some time to focus on his family life and environmental projects.
I'll take it at face value. I'll confess something to you if you clear up some things for me.
Tim Blake Nelson, who played Samuel Stearns, was 48 when filming The Incredible Hulk, and now he's 60. What you might not know about Tim is that he started his career as a director before fully diving into acting. He's also a huge lover of literature, and is an avid reader of Russian writers like Dostoevsky. A lesser-known fact is that Tim was a classically trained opera singer during his early years. On set, Tim had to deal with a challenging situation. He spent a lot of time in prosthetics and special makeup, which made even short scenes feel like a test of patience, but his dedication paid off. During one particularly long makeup session, he managed to come up with some improvisations that were so good, they made it into the final cut. He also took the opportunity to teach some of the younger cast members how to get through long shooting days without losing energy. Tim's passion for the craft has kept him busy in the industry. He continues to act and has recently been involved in several directorial projects.
Was the most extraordinary thing I have seen in my entire life.
William Hurt, who played General Thunderbolt Ross, was 58 during filming and is now 74. Here's something surprising about William. Before becoming an actor, he considered becoming a priest and spent some time studying theology. He also has a deep interest in languages, and while filming in non-English speaking countries, he often amazed the cast and crew by picking up phrases in the local language within hours. On set, William had some of the most intense scenes, but there was one particular scene where he had to deliver a huge monologue about the Hulk's destruction. It was such a heavy scene that, after filming, the entire crew applauded him for bringing such intensity to the role. There's also a funny story about how he spent some downtime between takes, reading an old script from his early theater days. William has been active for decades and still acts in films and TV, occasionally dipping into his love for producing as well.
You want to be the one to stick a needle in his arm that he doesn't want? She's our best insurance.
Tim Roth, who portrayed Emil Blonsky, was 47 when filming and is now 63. Tim Roth has always had a passion for intense roles, and it turns out he has a great love for animals, especially reptiles. He owns a few snakes and lizards, which he enjoys caring for in his downtime. Tim also has an affinity for motorcycles and has been known to take long road trips to clear his head. A little known fact about his time on set is that Tim had an extremely challenging scene where he had to undergo physical transformations into the monstrous version of his character, and the process of getting into full costume could take up to 4 hours. Despite this, Tim made it a point to show up early and immerse himself in the character as much as possible, even making suggestions about how to add more layers to Emil Blonsky's personality. The crew was impressed by his ability to switch between his calm demeanor and his aggressive, monstrous side. Tim has continued to take on roles in both film and television, and he recently wrapped up a project where he played a villain once again.
You said he wasn't working on weapons, right?
No.
But you were, weren't you? You were trying other things.
Liv Tyler, who played Betty Ross, was 31 when she filmed The Incredible Hulk, and now she's 47. Liv comes from a rock and roll family, being the daughter of Aerosmith's lead singer, Steven Tyler. But she didn't let her famous parentage overshadow her own talent. In fact, she spent some time in her youth traveling around Europe before deciding to become an actress. Liv's deep connection to nature has led her to take part in numerous environmental campaigns. When filming The Incredible Hulk, Liv's character had several emotionally charged moments, and it wasn't always easy for her to find the right balance between vulnerability and strength. She often took long walks on set to clear her head and reflect on her character's journey. A funny behind-the-scenes moment occurred when Liv, who was famously afraid of needles, had to film a scene involving a syringe. The entire cast and crew were incredibly supportive and kept her calm throughout the process. Liv has continued to focus on her family life and has taken on fewer acting roles in recent years, but she still stays active in creative projects.
Hope somewhere that it might tell us something someday.
And finally, Edward Norton, who played Bruce Banner, was 38 years old when he filmed The Incredible Hulk, and now he's 54. Edward's passion for storytelling goes far beyond acting. He's an environmental activist and an advocate for sustainable living. He's also a skilled martial artist and has trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which came in handy when preparing for some of the more physical scenes in The Incredible Hulk. On set, Edward's involvement in the creative process was impressive. He wasn't just focused on his character's arc but also spent time helping out with the overall direction of certain scenes. One memorable moment occurred when the crew had a disagreement about the tone of a key scene. Edward was able to mediate the discussion, helping everyone understand the emotional depth of the moment. As a result, the scene ended up being much more intense and powerful.
I just keep asking myself what it was we were trying to accomplish that was worth all this.
These days, Edward keeps a low profile, but remains involved in a variety of film projects, some of which he also directs or produces.